come take a look through the orange lens, my friends. How you doing, folks? Use the force. Positive mental attitude. It's about balance, right? It's not fake it till we make it. It's grow until we flow. So, I wanted to speak about a few different things today. I've made some heading notes, as I'm choosing to do now. I'm going from no structure to a bit of structure. I might finally end up at full structure. Who knows? I'm in a load of change at the moment, right? I'm reading, I'm admitting where I've been wrong with things, We're growing, right? So, what I thought I'd mention to you lovely people today was I've watched Extinction Rebellion a couple of times recently. I've been aware of them, been aware of the global issues that we are potentially facing, whether they are man-made or not. You know, I've seen plenty of information that says, look, you know, man is creating these problems, and I've seen a lot of information, you know, real data based on historical temperature and climate changes on Earth that state that this could potentially just be something that we go through, you know, one of the larger cycles or smaller cycles. So, but what is clear is that there is a rise in temperature, and a rise of just 2 degrees can destroy crops. Okay, granted, you've got lovely companies like Monsanto doing all they can to make seeds better to grow. Anyone who doesn't know who Monsanto is may not be picking up on my undertones and why they're there. They're scumbags. And they are an evil global company. Real talk, look up Monsanto, came across them years ago, genetically modifying fucking seeds and all sorts. And I tried to get people to have a look, and I said, guys, look, this ain't right, what's going on? You know, and people are gonna listen when they're gonna listen, right? You know, I used to let that get to me. It was one of the things in this last year that I've had to overcome on my personal issues, is the fact that me and other people are not going to act as quickly as some other people might like. Some people might not act as quickly on things as I might like. I'm not perfect, so I'm not about to start shooting other people down for not doing things. We're all living in England. Unless we all choose to, like, and anyone who I'm talking to is in England. Anyone who's abroad, most of this shit accounts to us all. France, Germany, like, there's no, like, Europe's full of corruption, the world's full of corruption, because these people, these bullies, got their way. They manipulated people. They used armies to trample others. They used political power to suppress. I mean, I was hearing some shit, and it's 4 years old information, because I was going over some Julian Assange stuff, which, FYI, go check his stuff out. Links in the description. There's new links in there. There's a WikiLeaks link right at the bottom. There's, you know, there's all types of links in my descriptions. There's a like button just down there. You can tippity tap that like button while you're down there. On TikTok, there's one over there, but TikTok don't get this length of a video anyway. It's just a snippet where I create the little videos opposed to other platforms, because, you know, I like the setup on YouTube. Nothing's ideal in this world at the moment. So, you know, I want to grow my YouTube page, have people come there, get the music, show support, join the conversation, you know, and let's find ways of moving forward that are self-accountable, that are self-responsible. I'm not perfect, but I'm prepared to keep pushing myself until I can look around and go, yeah, like, we're having an impact. Yeah, this is, and I'm going to keep pushing myself. I'm not going to stop pushing myself. But so what I wrote down about Extinction Rebellion, because I could sidetrack like a mofo up in this motherfucker. I mean, who'd think I'd sidetrack? But that's what happens. So, okay, so last night I was watching one, and it was about our recycling and how most of our recycling is ending up in landfill sites in the Philippines, in Turkey, it's fucking horrific. There's like beautiful countryside, then bang, European landfill, and it's like, you know, English Sainsbury's carrier bags with English writing stuff on it. You know, our governments are selling the trash abroad. Like, it's not, there's a whole load of unhealthy shit going on. But through watching this last night, and it's something that I noticed throughout a lot of the different movements, is that, you know, there's the, you know, there is the political side to it, and those that obviously either believe that politics can help us, or they maybe, you know, I don't know all the options, right? But, you know, or maybe they believe that, you know, it's just good to hammer the politicians anyway, and whatever. I'm unless I hear people saying, you know, that governance is a problem when it's corrupted, and pretty much globally we have a corporate government. It's not a sovereign government, it's a corporate government, and so that obviously is corrupted, and that obviously isn't with the best interest for people. So I'm more interested in the recognition that actually, oh, we have a combined, we have like a central problem, central governments and central banking, right? The crossover of like governance, corporation and banking has melded into this pot of corruption that is decimating the economy, you know. But the recognition of the role of government, and I, you know, I obviously do not like politicians, politics, not politics. I'm sure there's plenty of nice politicians, right? Can't be tarring everybody with the same brush. But I do not, have not, and will not agree with the structure. It is fundamentally working for someone else, and I refuse. I'm a self-employed type of person, right? Once I realised the value within working for myself, you source your own work, you're responsible for your own mistakes, and you gain the benefit of your own time. That to me makes sense, and you can take that and pull it right out. We can have our own, we got so many options in, like, you know, Bitcoin. We have options in Bitcoin. Now, I've been having some conversations. We're going to sidetrack a little bit. We can come back to that. We've got it written down. Been speaking to a few people about Bitcoin, and just sort of like, you know, putting feelers out, seeing what other people are saying, who's looking at what. And I can see there is a confusion between Bitcoin and altcoins, Ethereum, basically. Ether, which is their currency. Ethereum is the network, I believe. And Ethereum is very bloody different to Bitcoin. And Bitcoin has proof of work, it has a store of value, it has, you know, it's definitely an asset class, right? That's been chosen, right? Because like anything, right, we as a people choose, right? Our choice is this way of doing business. I don't know the end game, but what I do know is Bitcoin has value. So I was speaking to one person, and they said to me I had to go and check out this, I think his name was Wolf, maybe Robert Wolf. Said he's, you know, his views on capitalism and on consumerism are worth looking at, because of the stealing of the value of people. So I went and had a little look, and basically what this guy described was, very simply, you have a chair to be made. Chair is going to cost, right? So we're going to break it down. We go, you've got the input of the person who, let's say, owns the company, right? They buy the tools, material. But he just said they put in $100, right? The chair's going to cost 200, whatever. It's 100 comes from the, you know, company owner who tools and whatnot, and then the other 100 in value comes from the labour, which equals 200. And then he goes on to show how that the owner will take back the 100 out of the 200, and he says obviously the worker should then get the other 100 because they put in the other 50% basically. And he says, but obviously it doesn't. The worker gets a subsect of that, let's say at best 50 out of the 100, so the other 50 goes to the owner, who ends up with 150 of the chair. And that was such a weak demonstration, unless I'm so stupid, which I'm not. But through someone who has been self-employed for over 10 years, and I realised the relationship between the employee and the employer, as someone who's been both, what you do is, the example given that, you know, 200 is the end figure, 100 starts out from the owner, and the other 100 of worth comes in from the labour force. The other 100 of worth does not come in from the labour force. Does the labour force source the work? Does the labour force provide the land for the goods to be built? Does the labour force supply the materials for the goods? So many things. We have to trade, we have to barter, and we have to find new ways of doing it. Regardless of who thinks what about Bitcoin, that's whatever. I'm not going to try and convince you. I say you should look into it. In my description, links, there's a whole Bitcoin section. Work your way through it, learn some stuff. You know, the orange pill Bitcoin is like an extreme end of Bitcoin. And then you've got something like maybe Real Vision, which is not extreme on Bitcoin. They talk about altcoins and they shitcoin all over the place, and that's fair enough, that's their gig. But you can get a wide array of perspectives from my links, and you get to build the picture of, oh right, Ethereum is a completely different thing to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's like fucking digital gold. So that's what that is. Anyway, sidetrack done. We're going to get back to Extinction Rebellion, because I think it's important that we have the conversations of, like I wrote this, what is the common problem getting in the way of progression? Is it the system we live in? Is it people's mindsets? Is it both? Is it more? I'd say it's probably more. It's definitely both. Like, I believe in going self-accountability, right? But I also believe in recognising who's created what problems, because that's how we solve them, right? If we ignore who the problem solvers are, how the hell are we going to make a solution? And I realise the problem solvers want to kill anyone who opposes them. I'm okay with that. Let them kill us. Like Extinction Rebellion point out, like, I'm not being funny, I came across reasons many years ago as to why we're on a fucking ticking clock. And humanity could end up in absolute tatters. Absolute tatters globally, if not wiped out. And it's possible that could happen regardless of what we do, but I don't see that as a reason to go, no, I'm not going to do anything. So when I realised there was so many problems, I then started looking for common problems. I started looking for the common thread, just through what I could see, right, on my limited research with my limited views, because I'm not a, you know, like a qualified researcher or anything. Do you know what I mean? I'm curious. I ask questions. So, you know, they lead me to what they lead me to, and I find what I find, and I question what I question, and out of that, I've got views. None of them are solid, because, you know, you can always find something new that makes you go, oh, shit. So that's like that, which means that ain't like that, it's like that. Ah, right? But to me, that common thread is the corporatised, bastardised political sector that merges people's interests with corporate interest and destroys the people's interests in favour of business interest. Which is, it can't be a surprise. I mean, that's what, you know, the royals, you know, when America was set up, right, that was Her Majesty's trading company that set up the first camp. I think it was in Canada. I could be wrong, but I've got a feeling it was Canada. where they set up their first camps. They stick a flag in the ground and they create a business. And that's what they did. And that's what they always do. And I don't know what the answers are. I know that choosing new ways for money made by the people, not from the problem, is a good way. Bitcoin was not created from the problem, I don't believe, because of what it is. Bitcoin, separate to Ethereum and all the other altcoins, is like digital gold. It's secure and it has scarcity. So it's a choice like gold. We don't value gold because of the monatomic gold inside of it that potentially has life extending qualities to it. We don't value gold on that, do we? We don't value gold because the Sumerians wrote that the Anunnakis created us to fucking mine it. That's not what we did. Gold's a precious metal for other reasons that have been decided. You don't hear people talking about what you can do with it. So gold's been chosen that way. And I hear people talking about the digital security threat, but blockchain's technology, and you've got so one of the key fundamental parts of Bitcoin is the fact that it's about mainly it's got I can't say what it's about. There isn't a what it's about. One of the things it's about is security. It was made by, international computer security people. Like, that's what it seems, right? That's what or rather the cypherpunks, which was the movement that was before and after it came out of that. And it seems like they're attached to Bitcoin somehow. No one knows who's that. Well, people say they don't know who he is, but in writing it was shown that no one would ever say, even if they did know who it was. So who could know? Anyway, there are numerous impending reasons on why we need change. Now, I chose to go down the route of promoting mindfulness for a good reason, because I believe that unless us, the masses, become more self-aware and mindful and conscious, we are going to continue giving away our freedom of choice and our power of choice to criminals that pose as government officials that have our interests at heart, when they do not at all, will not, have not, and F them. So I chose, knowing the numerous things like the plane trails in the sky that I tried to bring everyone's awareness to, that they want to ignore, that is so hard to ignore once you see it, once you look into what contrails are. When you look, there's something very wrong going on. And it's why. Bill Gates is even now coming out saying how he wants to spray chalk in the sky and all of this sort of stuff, they're lying. They've been doing it, and they will eventually tell you that they're going to start doing it. And will you at that point remember your friends who said to you, guys, this is going on, it's not right? There's so many different reasons, but I got bogged down by them. I tell people to go and do some research, find some information. Don't dig too deep, dig deep enough to get the idea. Because I had to really struggle to pull myself out of some darkness, because I was so bogged down by the numerous things that were leaning on society. And this was all way before COVID popped. And that was clearly a move, I feel. Knowing everything else that was happening, the problems with revolution and rebellion, the government needed to shut people down. So, that's what I think. But, the monetary system is a problem. Debt-based economy is a problem. The centralised banking and governments is a problem. you know, and like I sort of said earlier, from what I can see, the global problems are brought about by these global powers centralising. And we have the ability to choose other ways, to choose to organise locally. You know, it's spreading awareness. It's sharing videos of people that are speaking out. You know, it's showing support to people. I showed support to many people, not because I want support back, but because I know that they need it. Like, to swim against the stream, right? To go the wrong way up a one way. It takes energy, man. The more of us that do it, I believe, the easier it is. But it's still not easy. But it's worth it. And it's the right thing to do, it seems to me. Anyway, let's call that a day, my friends. Use the force. Positive mental attitude. Be kind with your thoughts to yourselves like you would for others. Keep loving your hearts for yourselves like you would for others. And let's get it. Get what, John? Awareness, of course. Peace in.